My name's Chris.
And I'm Kristie.
This is the Washing Up Podcast, and we've finally lost somebody. It feels like years.
It does, although it feels kind of quick. This whole week's just been gone very quickly. First we were welcoming people in, and now we're farewelling them.
It seems like only yesterday we welcomed them into the kitchen proper. Oh, we did. Whoops. Never mind. So
there's always going to be a first one to go. I hope he's a plant.
Yeah, I hope he's a plant.
I hope this Lauren is just another producer who's the fucking salmon, all right?
That'll do. Who's this in the photos on the fridge there? I don't know, we met last week. You told us to have some photos taken.
That's the makeup artist.
Look professional. Look professional. All right, so obviously this week we've had the first elimination of the brand new series of Masterchef Australia.
Yeah.
And it was Brett. I know we're not going to drag this out through the episode. We're going to talk about it, but it was Brett.
It was Brett.
And you could tell it was Brett from just after the opening titles. Unfortunately, the problem was that they gave him not a slight, but a full bio, complete with background sob story, which was sad. But
look, it was extremely brave of him to come out, and kudos to Masterchef for having someone speak about their addiction in quite a frank way.
Yeah, that was good. But when you're doing that and you haven't even shown the kitchen,
it's usually we get to that point around week 8.
What happens in the show, and those people who watch the show regularly obviously understand. But what you tend to see in the show is early on they give really long bios to people that they're not going to have time to show bios of later on.
Yeah.
Like if you are a person in that kitchen and they have not shown a bio,
you're safe.
You're fine.
Kristen, she's fine.
Kristen's fine. Barely even knew she existed tonight. Joe was great. And hello, Joe. What do you know?
I was going to say the same thing.
Well done.
Because Joe's awesome.
So, yeah, when they haven't shown your bio, you're good.
Gina,
you're safe.
She's fine.
Exactly. Unfortunately, Brett got a really long one before they showed the kitchen. And I think I said to you, the show started and they showed this long thing with Brett talking about addiction and talking about what had happened and talking about the way that he'd rebounded. And I said to you, Brett's gone.
Yeah. I mean, and they re-showed Jess's, her doming something again. So, to try and kind of cover it up. And a bit of Janine's, but it really wasn't the same.
Yeah, it was sort of... It was
too soon, Reese.
It wasn't too soon for Reese. Reese is still
Reese
there.
is fine. We haven't seen his background. He's fine.
Now, importantly, they then showed the kitchen. Vespa's still there.
Indeed. Thank goodness.
Vespa is still there again. I'd like to start seeing them do, and it was pointed out on Twitter, a few people pointed out on Twitter, they'd like to see an opening credits where, they get back from the opening and they get there and there's Matt just sort of in the garden foraging and the camera spot him and he jumps on the Vespa and rides off into the sunset. That would be really good. I'd like to see them do something with the Vespa. I'd like to see them maybe have to do a pizza delivery challenge. I would love to see a pizza delivery challenge where they have to make the pizzas and then they have to share the Vespa.
Kind of like what was it? That dude, the chef from New York on that Fuck That's Delicious. The new one that we're watching on Netflix.
Oh yes.
Oh God, I'm sorry everyone. I vague book.
She does, but it's all good. So no, when he went and worked for Domino's for a bit.
Yes,
when he went and worked for Domino's for a bit. That was great. That was
David.
Great.
Oh, okay. I'll come back.
She'll come back to it.
People are now yelling.
They're all screaming at you.
At
anyway,
their iPods. That's what people use.
So,
at their Walkmans.
we got inside and they decided they were going to do this challenge where it was all about fridges. At which point they produced the fridges. Now, a couple of things. First of all, CBS America. I hope you know what you spent your Channel 10 money on. Because the answer is fridge freight.
I'd like to think they got a bit of a what's it called, a DHL or a UPS
they got a discount,
a Star Trek discount. They got sponsored, new sponsor on board.
They got a discount. So what you ended up having was the fridges. Now I have absolutely no doubt that they are legitimately the contestants' fridges.
Do you think they came down in Frigmobile? You know, the one that you see. Sorry, I think it's supposed to be Frigmobile, but I just call it Frigmobile.
It's called the Frigmobile because that's so much funnier.
Yeah.
So...
Because it's fingering.
here's what you'll learn if you've never listened to us before.
Sucked in.
Kristie doesn't do subtlety.
No.
There's no subtlety. It's a brick to the face. So...
Yes.
So anyway, what ended up happening was that I believe it's their fridge.
Yes.
I don't believe the contents are theirs.
I think it's based on the contents
It's based on what was in there, I have no doubt.
I just don't see a 5 kilo salmon.
Snapper, yeah, the snapper. Salmon, yeah.
You know, surviving a trip down from Noosa.
Especially when the fridge is unplugged. Now, this is the thing that nobody logistically has thought about. They unplugged the fridges.
I'm going to use this cream that's been sitting in my fridge for 3 days.
Someone's going, they could have packed it all in ice, or they could just have taken a photo of what was in the fridge. And like some of the goods, like when she had her pickles and stuff like that, they probably freighted those down. But I would also suggest that maybe they had a sour cream in the fridge, but it wasn't Buller sour cream.
So they had to change
that over there. Volcom curry paste, I noticed, was prominently featured in the middle of the fridge too. So what they've done is, I think, they've done a bit of replacement of one for one.
Yeah,
the perishables have been replaced. Her pickles came down because you can't fake that.
No,
but
like our pickle collection.
Yeah, exactly. But I do think that what they sort of did was a bit of substitution, and that's fine. But I can't suspend my disbelief for the idea of they brought down a snapper from Noosa, a salmon from Noosa.
I do have to wonder what the fuck's going on at home. The kids come home from school wanting their after-school Milo.
Well, my follow-up tweet...
Where's the milk? And they've got the old-fashioned, there's a dish with water on it and the tea towel with the milk over.
Well, my follow-up tweet, because the comment was they inside the boxes, because you had to make something that you'd make from home. And they had letters from home. Now, first of all, that's really early to go to the letters from home well. Like, you've been away a couple of days. Like, you've barely... Look, you haven't been away long enough for the salmon in the fridge to go off.
No.
Now, if you've not been away long enough for the salmon in the fridge to go off, can you really write a letter talking about how much you miss somebody? No. I'd argue no.
So, bit of an inspo letter, that'd be fine.
So... I think that the letters from home is a really early time to go.
If you ever go on a reality TV show, I'm getting all of my letters to you, all the wording from InSpoBot.
I hope so. InSpoBot is great. But when they did the letters from home, and the letters from home are really early, and my tweet about that was, you open up the first one and it's like, hey babe, give me the fucking fridge. I'm hungry and I can't eat anything because you've got the food. Right? I like the idea that they didn't ask permission.
No.
They just kicked the door down like a Peter Dutton hit squads to kick the door down, and they just came in and SWAT team stole the fridge.
Like the organ donation
team on Monty Python.
On Monty Python.
The Meaning of Life, where they come in and forcefully take their organs.
Kidney.
So Peter Dutton hit squads kicking doors down, and just the dangling cord as it gets dragged out.
They send Columbaris up to take your fridge. He overtly gesticulates. All right, I'm here for your fridge, right?
He comes up and taps you on the head with a spoon.
Yeah. Don't make me go A-League on you.
Don't make me go all A-League. Yeah. So they all sort of got these letters from home where they were deciding on inspiration, and they all immediately went, I read that letter and I instantly knew what to cook. And it's like, really?
Did they give you a recipe? Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe they told them, oi, dumbass, cook this.
Mum, we miss you. This is Janine's letter. Mum, we miss you. Troy wants dumplings for dinner.
I want my own bedroom and he won't give me control of the Xbox. Can you fix it? Also cook us something.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Dad's ordered pizza for the 4th night in a row. Not because he can't cook, but because he's lazy as fuck.
Come home soon. Yeah. Dad's going a bit crazy.
Grandma's force-feeding us liver.
Dad's made a fake mum out of pillows. It's creepy. Come back. So anyway, they all sort of decided. Jess also, I did like the fact that Jess had her box of food colouring delivered.
Cool.
Everyone's pulling out all this stuff out of pantries and there's Jess with this big white crate full of food colouring.
Well, fuck yeah. Good on you, Jess.
Now, Jess, I don't know if Jess got inspiration from home or if Jess just went, it's a weekday.
I'm just going to...
Dome.
Yes.
Mirror dome. Mm-hmm. So That's what happened.
But it was smart to do at this early stage, sticking with what you know and what you're good at. Bam. And she knew what she was doing, so she knew her timing. She could get out of the gates, get it in safe. That's fine. I'm just hoping that in 3 weeks' time we're not seeing a dome.
I don't... Well, if
or as someone said, a mirror glazed steak.
If it's in 3 weeks' time, you won't be seeing that, because if she's still doing that in 3 weeks' time, she won't be there.
She won't be there, exactly. And fingers crossed.
And just to clarify for a few people, in case anyone got upset on Twitter and was like, you're criticising her for doing what she loves. No, I at no point was I criticising her for the mirror dome. What I am saying is, first of all, and it's not a joke, I legitimately believe this, she's on the wrong show.
Yep.
She should be on Bake Off. Mm-hmm. And that's not because she can't necessarily do MasterChef, but Bake Off is probably better geared to nurture
her skills
at this age.
Yep.
And is probably more suited to developing technique. Whereas in MasterChef, they're going to turn around to her and go, you need to develop, you need to do something different, and not really be able to guide that process the way that you get with a Bake Off.
It's unfortunate because we don't see the dessert queens come out.
No, it's very rare that you get someone who masters dessert who goes through...
Like, look at Callan last year. He was a wunderkind, he was exciting to watch. And, yeah, he did outrageous flavours and he had, he was just inspiring to watch, and you got really excited watching him, and he got to, fifth?
But the thing for Callan was that he sort of also knew he needed to develop more.
Yeah.
And it's not a place you develop as such if you're at that early stage.
Yep.
If you're in a middle or a later stage, you can develop a lot faster, obviously, and we saw that in people like Ben last year.
Yeah.
But at that early stage, it's not just to go and do it on your own development.
But that said, Jess took the advice from the judges yesterday. She's like, okay, everything was too sweet.
Yep.
I'm taking some sugar out of my recipes. I'm going to adjust this. She took it on board and she produced something that was advanced on what she delivered yesterday.
100%. And she got her flavours right. And the mirror glaze looked amazing. And she's really good at mirror glaze. And if I was that good at mirror glaze, I'd make them all the time too.
I'd walk out on the street just dressed in mirror glaze.
So let's get into a little bit more about... Well, let's face it. The star of the show was Brett.
Yeah.
It was all about Brett because
the star of the show was Lauren.
Oh, yeah. So let's talk about this. Now, they had 15 minutes to sort of decide what they wanted to cook. Everyone else decided in about 2.5 to 3.
Yeah.
At the end of the 15, he was still standing looking. Then he started something. Then that wasn't right. So he started something else. Then that wasn't right.
I have a theory.
And then he remembered that he had a salmon.
Yeah. I have a theory, right?
That it's a demon?
No. So he would have gone on a health retreat and come back all inspired to do and maybe talking from personal experience.
I don't know what you're talking about. Go back and listen to the Bake Off podcast.
And hemp oil and seeds and almond milk and whatever else inspires you with these things in your fridge. And the only reason why it was in his pantry...
Does he just come back?
You just don't fucking use it.
No, you don't. By the way, if anybody would like some seeds and...
well, we kind of use some of the seeds.
Would you like the quinoa? Anyone want the quinoa? We're not using the quinoa.
I'm using the hemp oil for my face. That's going well.
That's wonderful. So go back and listen to the Bake Off podcast where we talk about Kristie's retreat and how relaxed she was and how much she's developed from that. We've still got all the goods here.
So I reckon that's what's happened. He and Lauren might have gone to retreat, come back with that.
I don't believe Lauren's real.
And thankfully, Lauren's a fisherman and had just been out.
I don't believe Lauren's real.
Really?
I'm going to question it. I don't believe she's real.
I reckon she's real, and I reckon she's a hardcore fisherman, and she went and caught that fucking fish herself, and she's packed it in ice and stuff, and she's gone to the delivery guys. If you don't get this down to him, I'm going to come sort you out with my fishing hooks or whatever the fishermen do.
Lawrence!
She's a thug from the scallop industry. Just deal with it.
So Lauren apparently is now beating people up on wharves.
Yeah.
That's your mentality of who Lauren is. I don't necessarily believe that Lauren is real. She could be. The way that he spoke of her in such vaunted tones, and it was like she was. And there was one point in this episode where now he comes up with the idea that that's right, Lauren loves salmon. I've got a 5 kilo salmon in the fridge. First of all, how do you forget you've got a 5 kilo salmon in the fridge? Secondly, and far more importantly, if I'm thinking about, what's a dish that someone at home that I love makes, and you're that focused on it, you're going to remember, oh, that's right, she loves salmon. There's one right in front of me.
What would you cook for me if you're on there?
What would I cook for you?
Yeah.
I'd grab a menu log.
Thai.
And I go to Thai.
What would I cook for you? Pasta.
Yeah, probably. So what happened was that, and I said that at one point, Matt came over and tried to inspire him because he was standing there again looking off into, middle space. And he was trying to work out desperately what he was going to make, and he was, coming up with all these complex flavours. By the way, the gantry, just on a side note.
Oh, it was beautiful.
The applause was wonderful. The applause was great. They really, they've worked out their applause routine quite well. Mm-hmm. What they haven't quite got...
He's the commentary down
is the verbiage. The banter is not quite there. Yep. Brett looks up at the gantry and goes, does it smell like carrots? And there's a pause, and everyone in the gantry's like, someone's got to say something. And just one person yelled back, amazing carrots. It's like... At that point, by the way, all he'd done was grate carrots. There was no seasoning. He wasn't cooking them. They were just a puree, by the way. But all he had done was grate carrots. And like, amazing carrot. No, they smell like grated carrot.
But does grated carrot have a smell?
Not really.
Kind of watery.
It's kind of watery. So I don't know what they were smelling, but apparently they think that it was carrot.
Well, who knows what amazing carrots smell like?
Now, apparently, the gantry. And so then at this point, Matt came over to help.
Oh, thank God.
Now...
What he down? Get a Preston in.
Now, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Crossing Over with Matt Preston. Because what Matt Preston did was channeled Lauren. Because he looked at Brett and he went, what would Lauren say if she was here right now? I bet she'd be saying... And then he went all professional chef. I bet she'd be saying, simplify those complex flavours. Look to really accentuate this part of the dish and this. Is Lauren a professional chef? Because if she is, why isn't she in the kitchen and Brett at home at Noosa? And why is she channeled through Matt Preston? So I can't understand why she was channeled through Matt Preston at all. I mean, of all of the people you're going to use as your conduit to... Well, what is essentially the land of the living? I mean, I just don't get it. It doesn't make any sense.
It's like to think that on the side, he pulls out his cravat, wraps it up as a turban on his head, puts a glass bowl upside down and starts.
Suddenly he's Madame Yenda.
Yes. I am Madame Zelda coming at you.
I see food in your future, not in this kitchen. Anyway, So Janine decided to make dumplings because she makes dumplings at home all the time, and dumplings are amazing. And there was a revelation on Twitter tonight. Kim Spicer, who's a great follow, tweeted, was talking to Eloise from last year, who mentioned the fact that no dumplings, ever.
Really?
Never had dumplings. How can someone never have had dumplings?
Who's never had dumplings? Kim Spicer.
Yeah. How can you never have had dumplings?
Honey.
We say this as hardcore yum cha devotees.
Just come up to Sydney, hun. We'll sort you out.
We're really, we're big with the dumplings. Are their life.
Oh my God.
They kind of are. So Janine made dumplings. Now, what I liked...
I feel like we need to start...
Intervention?
An intervention, like a fundraiser, like a bit of a... get some celebrities in to sing a song.
We need to just take some people to yum cha. I mean, we've never done that before.
Is it Bob Geldof free?
Yeah, maybe. We've never taken people to yum cha before.
No.
Hey, Beck. So I like the fact that she had a ring of dough to make it easy to cut the portions that she needed. That was really clever. I like it when you see good technique.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that. I'd also like to ask, why was Jess so keen on talking to the judges about how neat and tidy her bench was? Now, bakers have proven that you don't need a clean bench to do well. Haven't we, Marcus? I don't like it when...
last night someone had a blow up of a bench. It was spectacular.
Was it Jess?
No. It wasn't Loki, because that was awesome.
Yeah, but the bench was just an absolute bomb. Yeah. And they were telling him off for a messy bench, and then Jess was like, look, my bench is clean. And I'm like, what? Marcus's bench is a bomb, and he made some awesome stuff.
Are you sent to your room until your bench is clean?
I'd hope so. And by the way, for those people who followed along with Bake Off, I am still doing that challenge that I put out there where I am going to make one bake from each round. We've had other time pressures sort of creep in at the moment, but it is going to get filmed. Unfortunately, my cameraman got a job. So...
Not me.
No, not you. I had a cameraman lined up and then he had a job that he actually had to go to. So it's all lined up and set. But for those who aren't aware through Bake Off, the challenge is that there's a poll going up and I've got to make one challenge from each week of the last series of Great Australian Bake Off. And the first one has already been picked and it's a volcano cake.
I think you just might be shitting yourself a bit. So
I'm shitting myself a bit. There's no doubt about it. But I'm still going to make the damn thing.
all right, I'll buy you some brown pants today.
There's blood orange in it. It's scary. Anyway, so we've had the amazing carrots. We've had all this stuff. We had Jess's bench. Then Janine decided that the dumplings are a bit easy.
She's going to flambe them.
Yeah, she's going to flambe them. And by flambe them, we mean burn the fuck out of them.
Yes. So she had that whole thing that you warned about, which is don't put water near hot oil.
Why? What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, no, the chips. I burnt the chips.
Oh, my goodness, the chops.
That's it. That's the quote.
Oh, my goodness, the chops.
But this time it was, oh, my goodness, the dumplings.
And then I like the way that instantly George Columbaris runs over, puts his head in the pan and goes, they smell burnt.
You think?
Well done, George. Well done. There was flames everywhere. She had to put the lid on the pan to put them out. George comes over and goes, they smell burnt.
That's why you're the head chef, George.
That's why you're there. It's that sort of blinding insight
and
that gets your press club.
I just saw this moment in Janine's head where she's like, I'll tip the water on it to put the fire out, and then you saw like her guardian angel go, not a good idea.
That's how we got here.
Yes.
I thought you were about to say she saw George put his head in the pan and Janine went, I'm just going to tip
more water
into the pan right now. What have I got to lose? So Brett then got advice after getting it from the afterworld and Lauren. And it was a bit creepy that he kept on saying her name.
Lauren.
Like he had to remind himself that she exists.
Lauren's my girlfriend.
It's like Avenue Q.
We have the sex.
It's like Avenue Q and the song "My Girlfriend Who Lives in Canada" has to keep on reinforcing the fact that he has a girlfriend called Alberta who lives in Vancouver. So he then gets told by the gantry and Gary, "Don't burn the fish." No, I'm right. And at that point, I tweeted out, "We're about to get our first." I turned the back on the pan for a minute and ... Now, he didn't burn the fish.
No.
But he did turn his back on the chickpeas.
Oh, no, the chickpeas.
And they burnt. To which he then tried one of the oldest Masterchef tricks in the book. No, we like it like that. That's how we have it. Every season someone tries that and every year it fails. But God bless you all for trying.
Indeed.
Like, I love the fact that they tried.
I mean, there is some things that I couldn't serve on MasterChef because I do like it like that.
Vegetables.
I like my vegetables almost raw but kind of cooked. And I also like my pancakes quite rubbery.
You do like your pancakes quite rubbery.
I mean, I like pancakes anyway, but when I make them, they're rubbery.
They are. I may not eat.
You don't touch my pancakes.
No. You've offered me pancakes before and
They're like crepe cakes. They're like a pancake. Thick crepe. I don't know.
If you ever see the toy food that kids are given as part of a Fisher-Price set, like that. Although the last set of pancakes you made were really good.
Yes, because I used that
baker's flour.
Baker's flour.
Thank you, Robert.
Thanks, Robert.
Thank you, Robert, by the way, for the baker's flour suggestion. Worked wonders.
Came out fluffy.
It's almost like if you ask someone who was on Great Australian Bake Off, they'll give you really good tips.
Yeah.
So Janine was worried that her dumplings were still a bit doughy, and at that point she started making her sauce, and Gary gave us our first Gary spoon for the series.
She's like, oh, don't bring out the spoon.
And he produced it out of his ass. As Gary always does, spoon out of buttocks. So...
his next book,
Spoon out of buttocks.
It's like straight out of Compton, spoon out of buttocks. The Gary Mound story. It's just a young pasty kid on the streets until he met the spoon.
I love the idea of straight out of buttocks. It was also good, by the way, on the Twitter tonight to see all the John references. The second they produced the fridges, everyone was like, what if they had white chocolate in those fridges? it just became this constant thing of everyone remembering what it was. And I mean, to that, all I can say is, holy Gumnuts. I know, you all thought we'd forgotten Holy Gumnuts.
Does anyone actually say Holy Gumnuts?
Anyone ever said Holy Gumnuts?
I mean, I've started with Christ on a pogo stick.
Christ on a pogo stick's good. But I use the Billy Connolly Jesus Suffer and Fuck. But Holy Gumnuts? I mean, and it was introduced to us after Brett talked about turning his life around, so maybe swearing is also part of that.
I'd say so, because it's usually your 12-step programs are Christian run.
But he was okay with the blasphemy bit of the holy.
No, but you're not saying God or Jesus or Muhammad or like Krishna or Vishnu.
If you're Christian, you're not saying Muhammad or any of those.
Look, if you're a Muslim Christian, you might. I'm sure there's some of those around.
If you're a Muslim Christian, you might. Anyway, so...
look, I've met Christian witches.
I know you have.
They're hilarious.
That could be interesting.
They have to, like, burn themselves. They can't suffer themselves to live.
Holy water. They're confused. So they got to the judging. Now, Janine made a second set of dumplings and made 4 of them. Went, well, there you go. It's one each, which is fine. Now, they got to the judging. We started with Brett. When Matt Preston starts with, well, things I like.
Yeah. Not a good sign.
You're in deep shit. Now...
I got suckered in because I forgot that line and I'm like, oh, he's safe. And then you've gone,
no,
things like, I'm like, because there's things he doesn't like.
And what I didn't like about the dish, and I'm sure it tasted good, but what I didn't like about the dish was that it looked like something had been shot in the movie Alien. And the reason I say that was because he went with a smear. And when you go with a smear with something that is kind of a baby puke yellow, and just sort of put it down on the plate and smeared it along and then dropped chickpeas on it and then had like the fish at the end. It looked like they'd shot the fish and like the yellow and the just burst out of its head.
It's like when you kill a cockroach.
It's like when you kill a cockroach. And it splattered all the way down the plate. So smears aren't bad. Look, they can be overdone, but a smear well done can be good. Don't smear something that's baby puke yellow. And especially not when you've got, like, the protein at the end of the plate and you've just smeared it like the protein's been shot. Probably don't do that.
Unless you're going for that kind of look.
And funnily enough, the chickpeas were burnt, and that was what the judges all said. These are burnt. It wasn't that they were taken a bit too far, because sometimes they get out of it with the euphemism of, these might have been taken too far.
Yeah.
Gary just went, they're burnt.
But it does bode well for how good this season's going to be if...
Burnt chickpeas.
Burnt chickpeas is what sends you home.
The quality was good. Then you had Janine. Now, Janine, they said the dumplings were good. The flavour was wonderful.
Sauce was good.
The sauce was great. The chili sauce was great.
Lady. No, you can't call her Janine. She's now Fire Guy.
Oh, that's right. She's now Fire Guy. Ryan started the fire. Janine started the fire. But Gary then clearly was told by the producers, give us some drama. So he complained that he only got 1 dumpling.
Yeah.
Like, she burnt the first set, and this is just a taster. Shut up.
But then there would have been, if she did serve a whole big fucking bowl of dumplings, be like, this is too many.
Oh, look, do we really need that bulk?
Yeah, do we really need 24 dumplings? All of us who like dumplings would say, yes, and then another 24. But...
And then Jess came in with her sphere, and look, she nailed it.
Oh.
She's good with the mirror glaze. She's good with the sphere. I just hope this is the last one of those we see for a while.
See, the thing is, right, why it's not right for Jess to be on Masterchef. She's right to be on Masterchef. She has a right to choose. But I feel like she's wasted there is because if you're on Australian Bake Off, your colours, Jess. You can use all your fucking colours. You can bring your pantry of colours and glitter and fucking whatever you have and use it because that's what you do.
Exactly. And, I thought that Jess nailed her brief and Jess made something that she would make at home. And again, they had her mother in the montage complaining about the fact that her daughter spent all of her money on baking things and not on shoes.
To which Chris and I have gone, because it's how are you going to get yourself a husband? By baking. What kind of man likes a woman who can bake?
Now, again, We're just making shit up.
Yeah.
But it was funny. So Jess wins the thing and is automatically through and goes back out and stands with everyone and everyone gets happy and claps. Then they come down to it's a down between the two of you and I think everyone at home is sitting there going, yeah, well, it's obvious because Jess nailed it. Janine had really good flavours and Brett, unfortunately, burnt half his dish.
Again, I was disappointed there wasn't a dance-off. But I could live in hope.
One of these days there's going to be a dance-off.
Yeah. It's going to come down to like the MasterChef Grand Final in a few weeks' time.
And it'll be a nutbush.
It'll be 90 and 90 on the thing, and then you hear this
Schoolhouse outhouse. No.
Marcus Mateo comes in.
Marcus comes in the perfect Bake Off MasterChef crossover.
Yeah.
So what you ended up getting was really not a... And I don't think Brett was shocked. I don't think anyone was shocked. He sort of looked at like, yeah, I know.
Bonus is he can double home with the fridge.
Yeah, exactly. He gets to take his fridge home. So
Tim straps it to the back of a Vespa.
No, I've got the perfect ending. What actually you didn't see? He snuck back in. They took the car out. He went back in. He ran back into the pantry at MasterChef and just started loading the fridge. Just sweeping armfuls of all that stuff. You know, just
scallops,
armfuls of food, everything you think of. I'm eating well this week. Loads the fridge
steaks.
I'm coming home, Lauren. I'm coming home.
I'm bringing the bacon and the prosciutto and the leg of ham.
Daddy's bringing home the bacon and all the other small goods.
It's like they've gone to like wheel it back to the truck and the guy's like, oh, this is awfully heavy.
Oh, I buy heavy fridges. So look, I mean, it's kind of... I always think in a way that First Out, while we agree, it sucks tremendously.
Yeah.
I also think that First Out is kind of, you know, in a way, fun. Because you're not one of the ones who goes in like weeks 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Where nobody sort of notices you went.
No, we'll remember you, Brett.
We remember
Lauren.
because you're first. And Lauren. In fact, we may remember Lauren long after we've forgotten Brett.
I wonder if we can get Lauren on the podcast.
That would be fun.
Just to tell her.
What's it like? What was it like without your fridge? We can get Lauren on.
The process.
Just to talk about the process of how you go without a fridge for a couple of days.
And do you actually like...
And how did you channel Matt?
Yeah. What was that process?
How does one channel Matt Preston? What is the frequency?
How far done do you like your chickpeas?
Do you like them a little bit tougher when you sit at home snacking on them?
Yeah.
Is that the point? So with that in mind, we're going to wrap this up for now. So we will be back on Sunday night. Now Sunday night will be a bit later because we're out.
We're out seeing the Book of Mormon.
So seeing the Book of Mormon. So here it's about some lovely religious play and it'll be wonderful.
Yes, it'll be
devout.
like,
It'll be devout.
Yeah, it's Mother's Day.
Nothing inappropriate at all.
No, it's written by 2 young boys from the United States
Matthew
of America.
and Trey, I believe. So yeah.
Good Christian names there.
Wonderful people. So we are going to podcast on Sunday night for MasterChef, but it will be a bit later, so the live tweeting won't be happening, but we will be podcasting about it. Also this week, just for anyone who happens to be interested, on
Eurovision!
Saturday we will have the Eurovision semi-final wrap. We were going to do that. We were going to do that tomorrow after the second semi-final.
Yeah, but we both have to go to work, and then I realised I'm not home till like
real life work getting in the way, unfortunately. So we won't be there for that. We will be doing that on Saturday, and then Sunday morning,
coffeed up
before Mother's Day festivities.
Yes,
we will be podcasting all of the highs and lows from the Eurovision Grand Final, including the creamy middles.
Indeed. Let's see how that Estonia goes, eh?
I'm still pissed off that Switzerland's
Cyprus. Out. Switzerland out, Ireland in, that's all right. But fuck.
There's some.
How the shit did half of those just rigged?
Save it for the Eurovision podcast. And I can say that because we've got one.
Yeah.
All right. So with that in mind, I'm still Chris.
I'm still Kristie.
And we will catch you all on Sunday.
Holy Gumnuts.